welcome back.
Welcome back. If you're just tuning in, we are building our tiny home completely from scratch, just the two of us with no experience
while living in it.
It's been a crazy adventure so far, and we're really only just getting started.
We have talked about this a lot, but we are finally up to the point that we have power. Now, we've been working away at the electrical, obviously getting and trained Sparky to do all the serious stuff, but there's a lot of stuff we've been able to do concurrently while building out the tiny house. This is certainly a labor of love and does take a lot of time. What's more as well is I just got back from a 2-week trip with Max as we went over to Tahiti to see if he could tackle the world's most dangerous wave. If you haven't watched it yet, definitely go have a look, because it was a super fun project that we got to work on together and some amazing experiences that we had. Now that we're back, it's time to finally get to the thing that we've been slowly chipping away at and has taken way longer than we thought it was going to, actually having power in our little tiny house.
Which is arguably the most important setup of being completely off-grid. So let's go back a couple of weeks when we got the most important part of the setup, our solar.
Are you ready to get started? All right, let's go.
The sun is out, which means it's solar day. We've got 16 of these bad boys to put on up there. Hopefully we don't have to do too many holes. I'm hoping to piggyback off a lot of the other holes just to minimize the amount of holes that are in the roof. So hopefully that way we have the least likelihood of some leaks. I'm only gonna be doing on the highest ridges of the ColourBond, but first we gotta put all the brackets on, take all the plastic off, get them cleaned, and then we'll get up there.
Wow, that's so satisfying.
Look at that.
Ooh, baby.
Well, we got
You're
16
welcome.
more of them to go. So this is where all of our batteries and our solar chargers are going to live. I managed to find a toolbox that's almost exactly the size, both width and length, to be able to house them without too much dead space. Fits perfectly on the trailer itself. And then this way, all I need to do is drill a decent hole through the back of this, decent hole through the back wall here, and I'm going to just connect it with conduit, seal it all up, and then that way we'll be able to have the wires to run from solar or come off the roof straight into here, go through the solar chargers, from the solar chargers to the battery, then from the battery through to the inverter, then the inverter to the fuse box. I'm not going to be wiring any of it up myself, but I can at least prep and organize everything. I spoke to the Sparky for the first time he came through, and he actually suggested this would be the best way to do it. So I'm going to be drilling through the wall. I'm not super stoked about doing it, but you got to do what you got to do. So wish me luck, and hopefully I don't mess this up. Now all we need to do, plug some screw holes in here, and look at that, perfect. Got 4 40 amp hour MPPT, whack them along the back wall. Love to see it. So what I've got here is a board that's going to live underneath the stairs. I'll have 4 of these guys in place. That means as long as we have a plug that we can plug straight into, it means it'll go through these guys and it'll choose how much power it decides to use to either keep the batteries charged or charge them up if they're low. So this is a bit more of a precaution, and hopefully we don't have to use them too much.
Working hard, are you, bud? Best supervisor in the town.
Finally had the electrician come and wire everything up for us, which brings us to the front or back of the house, however you view it, where we've got all of our power mounted on the trailer here. I wanted to really make sure we weren't eating into the minimal storage that we have in such a small house. Now, obviously this is huge for us coming from a car, but we still do need to be wise how we utilize our storage, which got me thinking about alternative storage methods. Now, I know some really great ways to do it is actually having a completely movable trailer that has the solar panels on it and all the solar gear in it. But it didn't really make sense for our situation, and I feel like all we'd end up doing is whacking a big ugly trailer for Max and Grace to have to look at anyway. So we've gone with this idea considering we're maximizing the roof with the solar, and down here is where we're holding all of our charge controllers and batteries. Before we ordered all the electrical, I had a look at all the dimensions of the batteries and the solar chargers and stuff to make sure I could find something that would work to be able to mount onto the back of the house. This ended up being literally the perfect size to house 6 batteries, 4 charge controllers, and deal with a lot of the wires externally, so we didn't have to worry about ruining the space inside. The toolbox is almost completely weatherproof, but we also cover it with a tarp just to be sure, plus we've got a couple of drainage plugs as well. So we're covering all bases. Let's have a look. If you haven't already noticed, we've gone with iTech World for our entire system. Now, we basically just bought it straight off the shelf with their 18 kilowatt system. It just makes more sense getting all the right things that are compatible with one another, and that way it's just sort of set and forget. Everything works the way it should, and I don't need to try and do any more thinking and more organizing than I already need to. We have 6 240 amp hour batteries charged by 16 solar panels on the roof that you would have already seen. I'm really interested to see how we end up being completely off grid, given the fact that we do have limited sun during winter. So it's going to be a little bit of testing to see exactly how much we end up using, how much our solar gets at the shortest days of the year. In summer, I think it'll be easy as, but at the times that either we have a really long string of terrible weather or we're just not getting enough sun in winter, we do have a backup plan for that. Which brings you to our backup charging, which means we've got our chargers that we can plug our mains directly into. We're luckily in a situation that we do have access to mains power, so all we need to do is plug it in. We've got our 4 AC to DC chargers here, also from iTech World, to then be able to charge all of our batteries for those times that we may not be getting enough solar. I'm really hoping we don't need to rely on this too much, but it's absolutely great to have that peace of mind and not feel like we can't use any appliances and can't use any lights because we're getting low on power and we've had rain for a week, which we all know we definitely get here. We've decided to store this underneath here. Obviously the toolbox can only hold so much, but this is sort of like a weird storage space that we weren't really sure what to do with. Where I'm sitting right now is actually going to be a tall sort of cupboard. I couldn't really think of an optimal way to utilize this space to actually use the storage for where I'm sitting and also have access to here for more storage as well. So I thought, what better place to do it then put them in here. It's nice and temperature controlled, being in the most shaded part of the house, so it's not going to get too hot. There's plenty of ventilation and air around it, and we can optimize the layout and still have access to it. If I need to troubleshoot anything, if I trip a fuse, anything like that, I can still get in here and not have to worry too much about that. This big fella down here is our 3000 watt inverter. We talked to the team at iTech World to see what appliances we use, how many power points, how many lights, things like that, and what would sort of be to our needs, and we ended up settling on this big fella here. This way we've got our whole house running on 240 volts, and it meant that the electrician can essentially wire this house just like a normal house on the grid. When it comes time to having to plug mains in, we're basically just like a ginormous caravan at this point, and we've literally used a caravan plug point. All we need to do is any extension lead will do, plug that straight in, it's going to power through to our chargers, it's then going to charge our batteries. We've also got on the outside of the house 2 dual GPOs, which means now we have power outside for a bunch of different stuff. 2 of the main ones that we're going to be using all the time, and we're very excited about, is we finally have a water pump. So it's not just gravity fed, we have a bit of pressure. And we'll also be getting a hot water system very shortly and sorting out the gas plumbing for that too, which means we're inching closer and closer to having creature comforts that most households have without even thinking about it.
Now, this might all sound so trivial that we're getting so excited about these simple things, but when you've lived on the road for 5 years, you really learn to appreciate the little things. And the fact that we're also living out of this while we're building it means that we get to celebrate every little chapter, no matter how small it is. Something as simple as power being on is what, in today's day and age, you can take for granted so easily because you always have access to power. You never have to really think about it. And one thing that I love about not only our life on the road, but also living in this space is that we get to be so excited about each little level up as part of this build. Like when we finished the walls, every time we walked into this space, we're so excited to see walls. When was the last time you got excited about your walls in your home, you know? So let this be a little reminder to not take anything for granted. If you have walls, if you have power, if you have running water, what a privilege that is. Let's get excited about the little yet not so little things, right? And as I'm speaking to the camera, I have this guy here just staring at me. What are you grateful for? Are you grateful for carrots? I know what else you're grateful for. We have to hide this from him. Where is it? What is this? Oh! His favorite thing in the whole wide world. Whoa! Bring it up here. Good boy. All right, the time has come.
Let's test it out. Oh! Wow.
We have lights.
I don't believe it. Now, of course, we're not downlight people. And it's not going to be a full thing. However, downlights are still necessary. So at the moment, we've just got 2 downlights that will be our light for the time being. But we have plenty more exciting things in store once we continue this build process.
But like I said before, celebrate the small wins, baby. But we have to test one more thing.
Let's have a look.
Huh?
Wow. Look at those sconces, huh? Wow. Hang on, let's make this even vibier. Hang on. Wow. Now let's have a closer look.
Beautiful.
These actually look so nice. I was a bit on the fence about them.
Yeah, but I love them.
I like them.
Oh, our little home is coming together. Oh, this is so exciting. Now we have been working on the kitchen simultaneously, which is why we haven't really shown that area in this video. And that's going to be for next episode, so we will see you then. Thank you so much for tuning in, and here's to continuing this amazing tiny home build. See you on the next one.